Living and learning, that's what we're all doing as we go through life. You did instinctively get to breathe, learn how to do that. Sometimes you get smacked to get you started. Maybe this is what we're doing, we're getting smacked.
Hard.
So we've made plans, and then life happens anyway, despite those plans. Life is what happens while you're making other plans. So we're doing this live stream so that people can ask questions directly to me, on theory that you want to know something. One of the questions that was asked in a comment, which we asked people if they would do that, was using mobile homes as an investment. And of course, even first of all, to me, investment is even time. So you invest your time in something. Say you invest your time in raising your children. There's quite a bit more than that. You invest your time in friends. You invest your time in getting a home, purchasing a home, saving for a home. So time is part of that investment. Are mobile homes worth the investment? So I want to say a simple question deserves a simple answer, and that would be yes. Now the lengthy answer to that. First of all, to put in perspective, housing right now, I think the median house price is $480, $490 in the United States. It's crazy high. And the median house price in Arkansas, which is just a few miles south of here, is 300, something like that. A new mobile home, single wide, is for this wider is 16 wide by 60, 70 is $60,000 new. Probably doesn't include delivering it, doesn't include the utilities for sure, doesn't include the land. So if you were going to put it in a mobile home park, you'd have to have the utilities hooked up. You'd have to, which is water, sewer, electric, phones. And if you want to have a deck, steps, something, you have to have all those things. And then they think they do have a 14 wide by 50 for 50,000, and that's at Clayton Homes. Because I'm going by memory. So that's what a new home is. Obviously, there's math in that. Can you afford it? Can you afford what it's going to cost for the land, the sewer? If you're buying land and improving it, the electric, the poles to it, the water supply, the meter, all those things have to be in that math. Now, that's if you're buying a new one. Then you have to get the financing, and depending on who you use, that equates into your monthly payments and everything, and that includes relationships. Everything has maintenance. So you need to remember that you're going to have maintenance along the way also. Just like with your car, it's like, oh, I got to change the tires every so often, I got to change the oil, there's going to be things break. Even though it's only a year old, those things need to be figured out in your investment that you're possibly going to do. And if you start on that way without planning, those things are going to come up anyway. So that's your investment in the situation between a mobile home park, which a lot of mobile home parks get fussy and say, well, we don't want anything less than a 2,000, or we don't have any spaces, or you've got to look a certain way, and you can't have this and you can't have that. So if knowing that in this area mobile home spaces are around $400 a month, and they're sort of like a HOA. They can tell you, you got to mow your grass, or we're going to mow it for you. Some do that, charge you $75 or something to mow your little bit of grass. If you have too many cars, if you don't maintain it paint wise, things like that. I'm saying too much. Now, what I have heard is they go as high as $800 a month. Not in this area, not yet. I think there's an RV park that's at 800. It's outside of Springdale. It's really nice. It's right near the lake, right on the lake, sort of. Its property connects to the lake. So that's really an odd and high price. But that would be part of your investment. What you're going to pay for lot rent, what you're going to pay for water, if they don't have that included, your electricity, which most likely will not be included. So can you live there with all those prices? So the price of the mobile home, 400, 500, let's say. And then you're going to have utilities, say try to get those included. So you're going to have all that math. And then it's going to be the lot rent added to it. So you're now at 800 to 1,000. May not be what you want to do. You have to decide. Now, rent in this area, say Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, it's $1,200 for a small house, $950 for a one-bedroom apartment. Yes, there are exceptions to that where you got to fix it up and you can get it cheaper. So is that a good choice? That's going to be up to you deciding on your budget, your / investment. A lot of people have chosen, as a matter of fact, I know of a company that owns 3 mobile home parks in this area. I think they have hundreds of mobile home parks, but they're on the penny stock, and they're a huge company. What they do is they sell new mobile homes to people that are on their lots. Now, those mobile homes, you're not going to be able to move them very easily. I haven't seen any move. They may not allow you to do it until you got it paid for. So now you're sitting there, and you're going to be making payments to them, and if you don't, then they're going to own the lot and the house, and back to selling it again. That is something that I've seen more than one mobile home park owner do. Instead of taking on the responsibility, now we're going to talk about a used home. That mobile home park owner would say, I don't rent, but I can owner finance this mobile home to you. That means you take on the responsibilities of the maintenance and the repairs. And that ends up being a better choice for them because they don't have to deal with any kind of repairs. Now, that is just somebody who's thinking about buying a new home, and that would certainly be some investment. You have to have down payment. You would have to have the ability to pay for the utility hookups. Maybe that could be included in the financing, but that you're going to pay on that for 30 years, 20 years, 15. You're going to be paying on that, so you might want to see if you can pay for that up front, however much it's going to be. You never know. It's a kind of a wild card until you get it, that place that you're going to go to. Now, if you're going to buy land used, so you take your new home and you're going to go to property. Now you got to deal with having the septic tank put in, the water, all the things we talked about. And what you might consider is buying a place that already has all those things, but the house fell down or it's not very good. It's in terrible shape. Nobody wants it. Oh, you're going to have to tear down that mobile home or that old home. Perhaps that place already has electricity, most likely. Already has water, most likely. Maybe a well. Already has a septic. You'll need to check that. So I tell my boys a lot of times what they need to do, plan for the future. My boys are young, 23. is that they should look into finding an old mobile home that's in bad shape and maybe purchase that land with all that, 1 acre, quarter acre, not likely to be quarter acre, but say half acre out in the country, even out in the woods, and it has all the utilities already there. But people don't, they like, oh, that's a piece of junk house there, but yeah, but the utilities are there. That could be $12,000 for the septic tank. It could be $4 or $5,000 for the water, for the meter and the getting the water line there. You may have to pay for a pole or two to get to where your setup is. You may have to have the land leveled. All that many thousands of dollars has already been done. All you got to do is, if you don't want to fix that mobile home, is remove it and then move your new mobile home there. Now we're into, quite often you can get that property cheaper because nobody wants to deal with that mobile home, that ramshackle mobile home or falling down house, maybe even a burnt house. I know I had a company pay me out, go 4 hours away to Little Rock to help set up a brand new double wide, and the house had burned down, and they were using the utilities off of that. So it was a big house. It was like 80 plus. I think it was one of those rare 90-foot long double wides. So that's a good example. That house had all the utilities, and I know it had a septic tank. That's another story, because I fell into that septic tank. Didn't know it was there. Nobody did. I was backing up the truck, and bulldozer had been running over the top of it. And whenever I walked over, it just fell through. So I was like, the ground was up here. The sewer was less than knee deep. So that's another story. Anyway, the septic tank was there. The water was there. The electricity was there. They were able to buy that property. The house was, they used a bulldozer to clear it off. And that's probably when they broke the top of the septic tank. Now, you could find that. You could find some other property. Say you had an old house that had been dilapidated for quite a while, but you're thinking, hey, I could rebuild it. I'm going to move my mobile home right there next to it, and I'll rebuild it as I get time. That would be what you would use, that small mobile home on that property. You would have to get permission from whatever county to do that. Maybe a city. Most cities are not very cooperative. Now, that is using a new mobile home to live in until you can fix that home. But now you have the utilities already there. The electric, the water, the sewer. That might be something you could do in your math.